Time for the finals, winning the die roll, playing first, and looking at a hand that's very close to keepable, with Prophetic Prism, fixing our mana if we ever draw a second one. Now, we do go down to 6 cards if we play the Plains, so we have 2 draw steps before we have to discard, but sadly I think that we have to mulligan. It's just too greedy to keep this. And that's an awful hand, but I'm going to keep it because it has perfect mana and we can do something at least. Maybe it would have been better to keep the first hand, but that's kind of greedy as well. It just had quite a lot of potential, given that it was a 1-land hand. And this hand basically needs a Death Cult Rogue to be really good. But with Orzhov you can also just keep the hands that have a little more land because of Extort, giving you a lot of value throughout the game. Now this game isn't looking to be amazing, with our opponent going down to 5 cards and us not playing any spells, but hopefully that changes. Haven't drawn a spell yet. Okay, Understood Informer, I'll take it. Not a great creature to have here, but could be worse. Towering Thunderfist is actually a problem for us. For 4 creatures, very hard to block. We don't have anything to stop it right now. That is a good draw, because it doesn't die to Bomber Core and we have a blocker for Daring Skyjack now. Okay, yeah, we can't really do anything about the taking 4 here, but we might want to Shadow Slice up Basilica Screecher just because of Cypher. And if our opponent attacks with all 3 creatures, then we can still kill the Bomber Core with the Informer, take 7. Yeah, we go down to quite a low life total, but I think that there isn't much we can do, and we have to hope that our opponent doesn't have a creature here. A spell here. Okay. Shadow Slice deals 8 with Basilica Screecher in play, so this isn't a lethal attack next turn, sadly. It looks our opponent has something nice here. Potentially double striking Ordern Veteran. Probably just going to attack for 4 again. Oh, interesting. Wouldn't have expected that. I believe that does make it easier for me to survive next turn, because Understanding Farmer can block now and the next turn. But I'm not sure. Okay, still no spell. Doesn't help here. Attacking with this creature gives me 2 life to go up to 5. Then he attacks with everything and I'm more than dead. Yeah, that's not going to work. Let's just hold back and see what happens. Not sure if I should have mulliganed the 6-card hand as well. 4 lands, Executioner Swing and Shadow Slice is pretty bad, but we also managed to only draw 2 spells overall, so difficult decision. Going down to 5 on the play is not something that I like to do. Yeah, we can just concede here. We don't have a block to survive. Well, I guess what we can do is still find out some things about his deck, so okay, he does have a Sun-On Guild Mage, which is good to know. Massive Raid and the Wrecking Ogre, so we are looking at quite the deck here. He did beat us with a mulligan to 5, but that was also because we didn't really do much. So a lot of battalion cards in his deck. I think that we probably want the 1 toughness creature. Even though he has Bomber Core, it's going to be able to block an early Daring Skyjack. And then Aerial Maneuver and Shielded Passage, also nice cards to have to make things a little more difficult for him. Against very aggressive decks, I think Gateway Shade isn't the best because it's so difficult to keep up mana, or you have to make it a very, very expensive high drop, which isn't what I want to be doing against Boros. So the question is if Shadow Slice should stay in the deck as a way to close out games or not. And I think we probably can't afford to play that. So we would want one of these tricks instead. Maybe Shielded Passage, maybe Aerial Maneuver. Both aren't really great though. Not sure. Yeah, I think going with the Shielded Passage just for mana efficiency as a way to maybe get something going. It's also more difficult to get blown out with when you have Shielded Passage compared to Aerial Maneuver. If you have to Aerial Maneuver something, then your opponent usually has a way to respond, which isn't really great for you. Okay, 17 land and the Prism is a lot for this deck with such a low curve, so it's not completely unreasonable to go down to 16 lands or drop the Prophetic Prism in this matchup, but I think I like it as it is. Maybe it's a mistake to take out the Shadow Slice. Feel not exactly sure how this game should work. Let's see. Okay, another hand that's not really great, but I think I want to keep it with this deck. We have 5 lands, which is basically too much already, but Deathcard Rogue and Executioner Swing. I don't have the confidence in my deck to say that I want to go down to 6. Might be a mistake, but I'm not going to mulligan. We've had some... Well, first of all, we had a lot of mulligans, but then we have also had a lot of decisions where it wasn't really clear what to do. And it heavily depended on which matchup we were facing. We had a great hand in game 3 of the last round where we were guaranteed to just be able to play almost any spell if we drew a single land, which we did. Drawing 1000 Lashes here is a very good start to get rolling. It's one of our best ways to deal with cards like Sunhome Guildmage, which could come down just about now. No, it's a Wojciech Halberdiers, but that might force us to use the 1000 Lashes anyway. And we might also be forced to block here, just to stem the bleeding a little bit. We don't want to face too many extort creatures anyway. And trading Armor Transport for Wojciech Halberdiers sounds like a good deal. We could drop 1000 Lashes on the Halberdiers, but I think it's our premium removal spell. We do want to use it a little better, and he has shown that he has more powerful cards that we need to worry about. So if we get a trade with Wojciech Halberdiers and Armor Transport, that would be great. Even though we aren't using our mana in the most efficient ways, because we had four this turn, and we would have had, well, we have 5 next turn, and we would have had the Transport and the Executioner's Swing to play. So that's not an option now. But we do have 1000 Lashes to put on Truefire Paladin. On the other hand, we could just try to block it. It's kind of greedy, but I like that because we do have Smite and some other cards. And I kind of want him to not overextend, but to just show me the cards in his hand to make a better decision about what's going on. That's also interesting. Skynet Legionnaire means that Truefire Paladin can't be pumped anymore. So if he wants the battalion of Wojciech Halberdiers, he would have had to attack with everything, giving me the option to kill the Truefire Paladin. He's playing around the removal spells nicely here, but because we had Executioner's Swing, we still get rid of the Legionnaire that way, without giving away too much information. In a certain sense, we do want a second Plains, but on the other hand, we are fine with just drawing spells, of course, so kind of a funny situation here. Just like we are restricted to a single Plains, our opponent is on a single mountain, so he might just also be restricted by playing a single spell each turn. And the fact that we have a blocker for his Truefire Paladin means that he can't really attack with it, which is great. Oh, another card, a 1/1, it's not a big deal. So now we have to see that Wojciech Halberdiers would start attacking with Battalion, and so would the rest of the team. So if we tap out for Kingpin's Pet, then we don't really have a good block here. We do still want to smite Truefire Paladin if it ever attacks, but the question is if we can take too much damage here, and that's where our mana troubles become apparent, because we can't really block Truefire Paladin if we don't have Smite mana up. So to think this through, knowing that our opponent does have a pretty potent attack if we decide to drop Kingpin's Pet here, but we are on 17. I think that we can do it, and it's very likely that we can still block Foundry Street Denizen, and that's because he only has a single red. So it's not possible for him to drop a red creature and activate the Paladin, hopefully. And that means that if our opponent drops a red creature, then the Truefire Paladin can't attack, which means that this creature isn't really needed on defense, because it's very unlikely that the Denizen attacks, and if it does, the Paladin doesn't attack, so we save some damage either way, and I feel like we can attack with this creature because of that. there's quite a lot of attacks for our opponent that aren't unreasonable and that are going to take quite a chunk out of our life total, but they aren't the worst here. Yeah, that actually is exactly the card that makes Foundry Street Denizen able to attack here. And it looks like he might actually have a trick for his Truefile Paladin as well, which is pretty awful for us, but don't see another block, another reasonable block here. Okay, he just lets me kill the Paladin, not something I would have expected. That's pretty good for us. And I'm just going to take it super slow here, playing it very defensively, because his last attack could signal that he has something else to punish us with, and it could actually be Wrecking Ogre, to be honest. So the thing about Wrecking Ogre is that all of his creatures are lethal except for Foundry Street Denizen, so he would be very well off just if we block anything and let a knight hit us, because we don't have another mana to extort. So we have to put him on something. It could just be a Martial Glory, but I think that our opponent is up to something, and I have a feeling that it could be Wrecking Ogre right there. So I'm going to try to play around that, even if that means taking a slightly worse block here. And then I'm going to see what happens. The very aggressive use of Active Treason made me think that there might be a Wrecking Ogre in my future. It looks like it's a Martial Glory, so somewhat of a different card, but we still did a pretty good job playing around that, and I think that's a mistake here. Making the knight that was blocked by Kingpin's Pet a 5/2 doesn't accomplish anything. Except for getting rid of our extort creatures, of course. So we could still take that trade and smite the Halberdiers, and he's left with a knight and a 1/1, so kind of happy about that. I think that was a good good turn for us overall. Played around Wrecking Ogre, and he did have Martial Glory instead, but used it in a somewhat weird way. I also could have smitten the 5/2 knight, losing this creature, and that would have meant I could have put 1000 lashes on his Vodric Halberdiers, but to be honest, I didn't really want to play the lashes anyway, so let's see. This creature does block the Denizen. I'm just going to hold back. If he drops a red creature, then we want the information probably, but to be honest, I just want to be safe from Wrecking Ogre, so I don't want to stay on 10 for too long. And here, now I think we do attack. I probably could have attacked last turn as well. I expect my opponent to just play the Wrecking Ogre if he draws it at this stage, because there just isn't a reasonable attack for him. And even giving one of his creatures double strike doesn't really accomplish much for him. It does kill one of my creatures, but Wrecking Ogre is such a big threat on the current board that I would just expect my opponent to play it. And it looks like the Extort is taking over here. I'm not putting my Undercity Informer in any kind of danger. Daring Skyjack is a fine card. Let's see. We do get to double Extort if we lashes the Skyjack, which does mean that we don't lose to the Wrecking Ogre if he has it on the Skyjack. That would deal 12 exactly, and we don't want that to happen, so we could almost just go for the kill here. If we play lashes on the Skyjack, he goes down to 10, and we have an attack that deals 7, and his only good block is with a Knight. So that also gets rid of Battalion, and I think that even if he draws Sunhome Guildmage or Wrecking Ogre, we still win the game. He could also be holding Pit Fight, which would be kind of unfortunate, but and that's game. Do get to play a game 3, just like all the other games. And we have already boarded some cards here. Shielded Passage. Could also put in the Aerial Maneuver, just like we discussed. Aerial Maneuver can be quite good again, especially against cards like True-Fire Paladin, but so is Shielded Passage. Shielded Passage is actually insane against True-Fire Paladin, now that I think about it. I really like where we went with the boarding, and I think the worst card on the draw is definitely Prophetic Prism, because we already have 17 lands in our 4 mana curve deck, so we are playing too many lands, to be honest. It is a spell for the Extort creatures, which is the saving grace, basically. The question is if one of these cards could be better, and I'm willing to just play Aerial Maneuver and find out. Maybe actually going up to a 9/8 mana base. Makes it a little harder to play the Death Cloud Rogues, but we are going to be on the defensive, so Death Cloud Rogue isn't even all that amazing, and that looks like we have a nice way of instant tricks to deal with his best cards. It's still possible that Shielded Passage is actually better than Aerial Maneuver. Given that he has so much first strike, I think it's just the better card. Kind of pains me to put 2 in my deck, but hopefully we can use one very early and then go from there. And another 6-lander. That's a mulligan. We can't keep a removal spell in 6 lands, so. And 6 lands, we can't keep that. So we have to work with that and hopefully draw a swamp. We did put in additional planes, drawing both Death Cloud Rogues now, so yeah. But if we lose this, I don't think it's because of our sideboarding, so. Possible that it's correct to wait there, but he's only going to pump it if he has the mana, if he doesn't want to use the mana for anything else. And there might be some cards that can punish us for waiting, although I'm not too sure what they are. didn't think it was very likely that our opponent would put Madcap Skills on True Fire Paladin against a Plains and a Swamp, so it looks like we are fighting against Holy Mantle on Bomber Core. So no way to get Battalion. If we draw our lands, we can run 1000 Lashes the Bomber Core, and that would be great. Yeah, that's very, very bad. We can't play a spell. We're getting beaten down. We have the two Death Card Rogues in hand. Maybe that's the punishment. We did know our mana wasn't great, and we did board out his Swamp for that additional Plains, because we put in quite a lot of white tricks, which won't work against Bomber Core, so we need the land for 1000 Lashes. But then we are definitely in the game. Cartel Aristocrat is a nice blocker to have against Orden Veteran. But Basilica Screecher is a good blocker on its own. So we might just want to try to block with this Screecher. No, I think if we trade Cartel Aristocrat for Orden Veteran, we are very, very well off. And it's unlike that he attacks, because it does break up his battalion, so I'm just going to attack with both of my creatures. With Cartel Aristocrat also being good against... Oh no, it's actually not good against Act of Treason. Oh, it is, because we do give it protection from red. So we still have a very easy shot at winning this if we draw a land to play our 1000 Lashes. We do have a few other ways to deal with Holy Mantle on Bomber Core, but there aren't too many. I have a feeling that I should activate the Aristocrat. It's not great against a trick in response, but the only thing I can think of is something like Massive Raid on my Aristocrat, and then I have to sacrifice the Kingpin's Pet as well. But I want the Veteran gone, and I think that having the Aristocrat in play is better, because I think that Act of Treason is a very realistic card for him to have. That's sadly not the card we wanted, but we are still alive with a land here. Now at this point I think that I have to save my Kingpin's Pet from dying. Probably the extort creature is more important than playing around Act of Treason at this point. There's Wrecking Ogre. Oh, he couldn't Blood Rush on the Bomber Core because of the protection from creatures. So now we do draw the land here. A double striking Wrecking Ogre is basically very tough to block. And if we do have to 1000 lashes the Bomber Core, but then we are forced to start chump blocking Wrecking Ogre immediately. So what we have to do is play a blocker for the Wrecking Ogre, but we can't get 3 power on the table. So don't really think that there is much that we can do. If we put 1000 lashes on Wrecking Ogre, then we take 3, go down to 1, and we would have to draw a removal spell for the Bomber Core immediately in the next turn. I feel like our best bet is actually to 1000 lashes the Bomber Core and then start chump blocking the Wrecking Ogre, hoping to draw maybe a Death's Approach. But that would also mean that we can't play Death's Approach on something else, so don't really like our chances here. But if we don't drop the lashes on the Bomber Core, we only have 1 draw step to find something, and we can't block the Bomber Core, so yeah, that's as you can see, probably not a way to win this game, but I feel like we weren't too far off from actually getting there. And that spells Doom as well, because with our next draw we are forced to block the Wrecking Ogre and then any spell kills us. Okay, we can actually play that, but we don't have the black, so good game. Didn't get there. I feel like we could have, but we got a little bit unlucky with the mulligans. That was a mulligan to 5, and we didn't just lose, but actually had a shot at winning there. The deck didn't turn out to be perfect. Also had some trouble reading the draft. After getting 1000 lashes, I would have expected to just see more Orzhov cards. But we probably put the person to our left into Orzhov, maybe with that 4th pick Orzhov charm. And yeah, the deck was fine and could have easily 3-0'd, but we didn't quite get there. We did have some pretty intense matches though, so I hope that you liked this episode, and I'll be back in about 2 weeks. See you.